Could you spend a few minutes today teaching about other Amazon business types? AKA, you teach private label, meaning I teach private label, which is what we're doing. But could you also summarize and explain other business models such as retail arbitrage, wholesale, flipping, etc.? What are the pros and cons to these? Yes. And honestly, I could talk about this for like 4 hours. And I've had 4 hour, not 4 hours, maybe like 2.5 hour conversations with friends at get-togethers about all this kind of stuff because they all ask me like, hey, but what about this? Or maybe I should do wholesale. Or what about, have you heard about online arbitrage? I'm like, yes, I have. And I know people, I've networked with people who are very successful in all of this, very successful in retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesaling, drop shipping. Like there's so many different business models out there with e-commerce and even on Amazon. You can do all these types of business models on Amazon specifically. So let me just spend, I'm not going to talk for 4 hours about this, but let me just spend a couple minutes just kind of talking about a few of the differences between them. Private label, which is what we're doing, is creating your own brand. And the reason why it's kind of been called private label, white label, whatever, is because for the most part, most people are not like reinventing the wheel and coming up with like some brand new, never before seen product. They're taking products that already exist and making it their own. So essentially, they're private labeling, or imagine like your own private brand labeling the product. As you're putting your own label on a product that really already exists. T-shirts. Anyone can sell a t-shirt, but you're putting your own label, let's call it, on the t-shirt. So that's kind of the private label model. We look for products that sell, we make them our own in some way, shape, or form, or some people don't make them their own. They just coat hangers. They sell coat hangers, like white plastic coat hangers. They just slap their own brand name on it and they're good to go. No one really has a patent on that specifically. So it's just like a free for all. Anyone can sell coat hangers, make it your own brand, and you're off to the races. So that's private label. So we all know how that works. But some of the other popular ones are arbitrage and wholesaling. Those are probably the two I'll touch on here really quickly. Arbitrage is a really fun word to say and a really fancy word for basically like flipping or reselling. But arbitrage sounds fun. It sounds cool to tell your friends. Yes, I do. I have an online arbitrage business. But it basically means, then there's two main forms to that. There's retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, but they're the same thing. Either you're walking into Walmart and buying stuff and reselling it, or you're ordering it on walmart.com and then reselling it once it gets shipped to your house. And it doesn't just have to be Walmart. It could be anywhere. It could be a garage sale. It could be Walmart, Target, any online website, but you're buying. Kind of the key to that business model. I'm going to pull up Amazon really quick for this. Let me try to find a very real life example of this very quickly. Here we go. So how the arbitrage model works is I come to Walmart. I'm on Amazon right now, but let's say I drive to Walmart and I see that this Lego set of this thing is on sale at Walmart for $20. Sweet. I go to Walmart, I buy up 5 of them. I go buy them at Walmart, I buy 5, $20 a piece. I come home, I put them in a big box, I ship them off to, I have my own Amazon account. I ship them off to Amazon. And what I do in the back end is when you create a product listing, you actually don't have to always create a listing. What you can do, you can either create a listing from scratch if you have your own brand and your own products, that's what you want to do. But if you're selling a Lego thing that you bought at Walmart, you don't want to go through and create all this, nor does Amazon want 48 listings of the same thing. So what do? They say, oh, you're selling this? Okay, you get to sell under this Lego listing. Like you don't even have to make the listing. It's just there. So all you do is you say, hey, I'm selling this product right here, this Lego Space Shuttle Adventure. And you come in and you decide how much you want to sell it for. Do you want to sell it for $38.47? You want to sell it for $50? You want to sell it for $10? It's up to you. And you can sell it on Amazon. Anyone can do this. You can go to Walmart, you can order stuff online, you can get it, and you can come and put it on Amazon. So where you go is you now are one of these other 38 sellers. So if I click over here, I can actually see who all these people are that are selling this cool Lego space shuttle. It's being sold by Small Town Premium Supplements. It's being sold by Mr. Magazine. It's being sold by the Shiplomats. It's being sold by that one, Import PNW. It's being sold by this. Like I can see everyone who's selling this. And guess what? Look at all the prices. They're all different because again, you can sell it for whatever you want. You want to charge $1,000? Go ahead. You want to charge $50? Charge $50. But here's where the arbitrage business model becomes a huge factor. Arbitrage is very, very, very price sensitive. So there's a thing called the buy box. And I've talked about this a little bit, but the buy box is essentially you are the default person. So you are the person who essentially owns the listing. When someone comes here, if I right now on this call clicked buy now and I bought this Lego set, the person who owns the buy box is the person who gets credit for the sale. And one of their, let's pretend I shipped my 5 units, one of their 5 units gets shipped off to Amazon or gets shipped off to the customer. Theoretically, let's call it theoretically, it gets shipped off, because who knows? It could be someone else's actual product, but according to your inventory number, it's going to go down because yours got shipped and you got credit for the sale. Sweet. But if you do not own the buy box, you're not getting sales. You are parked right over here in this little box. And I mean, you can pray that someone clicks on this and is like, you know what? 38.47 is a really good price, but I actually think it's worth more. So I'm going to buy it for $47, right? Like someone could do that. And then you'd be like, oh, sweet. Oceanside Co., you just got credit for the sale because I just paid $47 for it. So that's where arbitrage comes into play is you set your price. But guess what? You got to compete with all of these people right here, because if you're not the best price and if you don't have inventory in stock and if you're not getting the best, there's all sorts of factors that play into this. I'm not going to go over to all of them, like I said, but all these other factors, if you don't meet all those criteria, you're going to be parked over here and you're not going to own the buy box and you're not going to get any sales. So it's a different, wow, we got some really expensive people here. But another kind of strategy here is you thinking, Andy, why on earth is someone listing this for $79? Because with certain types of products and arbitrage, again, this is a totally different ball game, but just to understand like how this strategy works is why on earth would they sell this for $79.99? Well, because let's say this kids, you know how kids work, right? And toys, there's fads. This becomes all the rage. Everybody wants this. Think Baby Yoda. Remember when Baby Yoda was like all the rage? Everyone wants this space shuttle thing, Lego thing. Well, guess what? This is going to sell out in 10 minutes. All these other ones that are low price, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. They all sell out really fast, right? You drive to Walmart, CAF sales drives to Walmart, sold out. They try to order more online, sold out. They can't find any anywhere. So they don't get a restock. So guess what? Guess who is just camped down here, just waiting patiently for that beautiful, glorious day? Let's say they have 100 of these bad boys and they are just hanging on. They're just waiting for that time when everyone goes nutso about this spaceship, buys them out from everywhere. Now they're here at $70.99. They're the only ones left. So now when Janice goes to Amazon to buy this for her son, Patrick, she is going to say, well, crap, Patrick is crying because he really wants this. And I want him to stop crying. So I'm going to spend $79.99 because I don't really care. I just want him to stop crying. And so she pays $79.99 and you make a crap ton of money off your 100 units. Different ball game. So there's many strategies to the arbitrage model, but that's kind of the whole philosophy of it. It's you buy stuff, you sell it on Amazon, you choose the price, and you compete against all the other people selling the exact same thing as a reseller. Okay, so that's arbitrage. Now, wholesaling is very similar in ways to arbitrage, but for wholesaling, instead of driving to Walmart or going to walmart.com and like buying 5 Lego sets, you usually with wholesaling, you get a wholesale account with a distributor of products or specific products. So let's pretend it's like lotion. You get, and again, I'm not going to explain all this in detail. I know it's 305, but you get an account with a distributor who distributes Cetaphil lotion, hand lotion. You have an account, you are able to buy 500 units of Cetaphil lotion for $10.99, and normally they retail at the store for $15.99. So you get a discount as a wholesaler, right? Well, you order 500 units at $10.99, and then you go ahead and you list them on Amazon for $15.99. Now, here's kind of the big pros and cons with wholesaling is big quantities for lower returns. Because think about it. If you were to go buy, what did I say, 500 units of Cetaphil lotion for $10.99, but you have to sell them to be competitive and to really get them sold. It's lotion. It's not a Lego. Like people are not going nutsos about lotion. So like you can't sell it for $79.99, your lotion bottle. Like you have to sell it for what market price is. It's been selling this much for less 20 years. Let's pretend. So your profit margin might be $1. Like you literally might make $1 off every bottle of lotion you sell, but hey, you make $500. But where wholesaling excels is it's less risky and it's like it's less risky, lower profits, but it's less volatile in ways. So like for example, like most people are wholesaling stuff like just like kind of household goods like that, like lotion or other things like that, where you're never going to make a huge profit margin on like a bottle of lotion. But guess what? People have been buying lotion for years. It ain't going away. There's not going to be any crazy fads. So you kind of know, hey, if I'm willing to go buy these 500 bottles of lotions and I put them up on Amazon and I'm competitive with my price and I have units in stock, they're going to sell. I mean, for the most part, if you know what you're doing, they're going to sell. You're not going to make a ridiculous amount of money from those bottles of lotion, but they're going to sell and you're going to make money. Now, the wholesalers that I know who do really well, we're talking like multiple millions of dollars, they have a massive operation. I call him a friend of mine, a network friend of mine on Instagram who I follow. Dude has a McLaren, has a huge house. If you're interested, I can show you his show you his Instagram account. But he's a wholesaler. He owns his own warehouse. He has a massive warehouse. He has a team of workers that sources these products for him and ships them and preps them and sends them to Amazon. It's a massive operation. Yes, he makes a ton of money, but it's a huge operation. It took him 8 years to build. So it's a different model, but it's a little more predictable and a little more consistent because once you get this wholesale agreement, they're tough to get, but once you get it, you can buy your 500 bottles of lotion every 3 months as agreed upon, and boom, there you go. Now you just need more products, more relationships, and sweet, you're golden. It's going to be a big operation, but it's pretty stable and consistent. Versus, let's say you're trying to flip PlayStation 5. Well, you drive to Walmart and you're like, sweet, they have PlayStation 5s. I'm going to buy 10 of them. Well, let's say you buy 3 of them. I'm going to buy 3 of them. I'm going to go flip them on Amazon. They're worth a ton of money right now. Well, guess what? When those sell out, now what do? You're back at Walmart praying that they're back in stock. They're not in stock. How are you going to pay your bills? I mean, I know people who do this successfully because they have tons of products. They've been doing this. They know what they're doing. But that's the different strategy is it's like retail online arbitrage. You're going for those big ticket, big profit, like craze, fads, those type of things and making huge profits on those type of things. But you got to be in the game. You got to be online. You got to be driving to Walmarts. You're buying baseball cards. You're buying basketball cards, right? And you're thriving off of that, and you're getting big profits. But compared to wholesaling, smaller profits, but it's a little more consistent, a little more predictable. But it's kind of harder to get your foot in the door. Like you don't just go to these distributors and be like, hey, I want to be a wholesaler, and they're like, well, great, here you go. Let's go ahead and order 500 bottles of lotion. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to get hookups with wholesale distributors versus anyone can drive to Walmart. They're not like saying like, oh, like you're not a distributor, you're not a wholesaler, you didn't get the agreement. No, drive to Walmart, buy a PlayStation 5 and sell it on Amazon. So hopefully that kind of highlights some pros and cons to all those different Amazon business models. At the end of the day, like my huge takeaway for like all these models and why I am a massive fan of private label versus wholesaling versus retail arbitrage. They work, they make money, but why I love private label is this one answer. Equity. When you build your own brand, your own private label brand, you are building equity in something. Meaning, if you build a huge brand of dog bandanas, one day someone could come up to you online via email, let's say, and maybe their name is PetSmart, and they say, hey guys, we want to buy your brand. We want to have full ownership of your brand. Obviously they'll buy your inventory and everything, but we want to buy your brand for $10 million. Now, if you sell Legos on Amazon, that you went to Target and you are buying them, no one is coming up to you and saying, hey, Andy, we see that you are really successful in selling your Legos with your online arbitrage on Amazon. You're crushing it. We want to buy your Lego arbitrage business for $10 million. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. So it's kind of like owning a house versus renting a house. They both have their pros and cons. There's good and bads to both of those. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about the equity in your back pocket. If I can make money doing private label, but I can also make money doing arbitrage or wholesaling, but one of those gives me the chance of someday selling for $10 million if I want to walk away, I don't understand why you would not do it that way. You're doing the same work. You're shipping stuff to Amazon. You're spending time in Seller Central. You're doing things, even ads, like you can set up ads. You're doing all the same work. Why not do it for something that's going to build equity that you could make a ridiculous amount of money for, hopefully someday, instead of just like, oh, sorry. The other thing too is like, okay, you're a wholesaler. Sweet. You sell Cetaphil lotion. Awesome. I'm selling my Cetaphil lotion. It's going great. I've been selling for 5 years. Then one day Cetaphil goes, you're no longer a distributor. Thank you for selling for us for 5 years. We've had a great time. Have a nice day. Now what? Like literally now what? You don't own a brand. You don't own the brand. You don't own the product. You have no connection. You have like, boom, you're done. You're done. you are done. And that could happen tomorrow. It could happen in a year. It could happen whenever. So the control of your private label, it's much more in your hands. Now, obviously, you have to work with suppliers and crap can go wrong there, but there's always another supplier. There's always another factory that you can go to get your product made. But if your whole business is selling Cetaphil lotion and Cetaphil says, sorry, you're done being a distributor, now you got to go find a whole new product. You got to get a whole new wholesale agreement. You got to start from the ground up with that product specifically. I mean, assuming you're super successful, you have multiple products, which, protect yourself. But that's my philosophy. That's my theory on the differences there.